What's happening? It's Chris Hall here. You are now tuned into the Chris Hall Show. We discuss dating, relationships, and much, much more. You hear me? Today, what I want to talk about for a little bit, I had a live that discussed the Uvalde, Texas shooting. And like I said again, my condolences goes out to the family members and anyone affected by such a heinous act. And I mean, I've had many conversations, with family, friends, supporters, things of that nature about different people's views. And like when stuff like this happens, we just go in a frenzy, right? Mind you, none of us know where Uvalde, Texas is. Most of us have never been there, have never heard of it. We don't know anybody there, but we're affected by it emotionally. And I understand. What ends up happening is we play Monday morning quarterback. So a video came out to where obviously a sensationalized video that shows police creating a barrier around the school while there was an active shooter in there, and the average person who doesn't know much about these things, mind you, including myself. I'm no retired police officer. I haven't retired from SWAT. I wasn't in Desert Storm. I wasn't in Nam, So I'm watching all this unfold just like you are, but I just have a different view on things. We like to play Monday morning quarterback, and for those who aren't familiar with that phrase, Monday morning quarterback means that you watch a football game on Sunday, quarterback those interceptions, isn't playing a very good game. You then on Monday morning, you start talking about what he should have done in those pressured situations when you were not there, and you've never been in those situations. But we all seem to have such a strong views and comments on them. And it's strange how as the days go by, you'll see the blame start going different places, right? And it's so strange because as an individual, we have willpower. I'm not going to say myself because I don't want to get incriminated and somebody take this, snip it and throw it out there as a 20-second sensationalized video saying that I'm radicalizing people. So let me just say Person A is sitting in their home. They decide that they want to go perform a heinous act on another individual. Person A can walk out the door. Technically go to their next door neighbor's house, knock on the door, ask for a cup of sugar, and proceed to open fire on everybody inside the house. Who do you blame for that? I'll wait. Yeah, Person A went into a house full of, let's say a standard household, maybe 4 or 5 people, a family, right? They decide to go in, murder 5 people because something inside that individual told them to get up and do such a heinous act. And mind you, let's not forget, I know most of our ears aren't tuned into the police airwaves, but if you speak to a police officer, especially someone who's been on the force a long time, they've seen a lot of things. They've saved a lot of lives. They've seen a lot of lives perish. They've had to, I don't think police bag up these people, but they've had to see dead bodies, kids, elderly, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, Asian. They've had to see dead people for domestic violence, criminal acts. If you think about this, if you turned on your TV and there was a channel that showed you every single death in America 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you'd probably die from anxiety. But that's the reality. And sometimes the hardest pill to swallow is to say that there's nothing we could have done. But that stops the conversation, that stops the debate. Nobody wants to do that. We want to continue debating on what we could have done. And I understand it when you see lives being taken away, especially little kids. You may feel like there's something we could have done. That's why you've seen Steve Kerr go nuts on TV, because it sends you on an emotional roller coaster that you didn't even sign up for. Think about that. You've been sent on an emotional roller coaster that you did not sign up for. Imagine if you didn't have a phone. Imagine if you didn't watch TV. And let's say you also worked from home, doing whatever you did. Let's say something like e-commerce, to where you're not even doing anything besides processing orders or dealing with, disgruntled customers about the product that you're selling. And you just were unplugged. You'd be in perfect bliss. This is where ignorance's bliss comes in at. The uninformed are usually the most blissful. Look at celebrities and entertainers. When you look at them, they're having a great time. They got stacks of money like this. They got the money phone. They got the money arm. I don't know what that new thing is called, but it's pretty cool. I will say that. Looks cool. And that's mainly what entertainers enjoy doing, is looking cool, showing you how lavish their lifestyle is. Those people don't have to deal with things like this. And like I said earlier, it's weird how you see the blame switch from the person who actually did the shooting to the security at the school, then to the I believe the gun might have been first or second, but let's just say the person who did it. Then let's say mental health. Then let's say it's the gun. Let's get guns up out of here. Then it's the security inside. Why isn't there more security in schools? And I did the math. I did the math on schools and universities, and I think it came up to almost, I think, it's 170,000, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. Let's just round up to 200,000 institutions of education in the United States. Because remember, school shootings happen from K through 12, and even college and universities. All right, I don't have to go through all the list of school shootings, and I know. Okay, cool. So now what?
I can't reach the internet right now. Check your modem or router connection and try again.
Wow. So yeah, trained. Remember, these people have to be trained. You can't just put a regular officer that beat the streets, or that like when you go to the elementary schools, you see some elementary schools may have an officer directing traffic. Okay. The officer that directs traffic for a living now, not saying that your decorator officer can't also direct traffic, but someone who directs traffic for a living is not equipped. Mind you, I've spoken to professionals these past couple of days. They're not equipped to respond effectively now, because hey, even I'm equipped. Well, let me not say me. Even civilians are equipped to run into a place with reckless abandon and open fire on whoever. But someone who is trained to effectively respond to an active shooter is not your standard police officer giving you a traffic ticket. That is just a man with a gun, in which most of us can say, all right, well, you got a gun, go ahead in there. And I did the math, and we're talking about, at least, depending on how big the schools is, I came up to like 300,000 trained officers in this is Uvalde, Texas. I think the population may be like 20,000 people or something like that, give or take. Do you think Uvalde, Texas, Uvalde, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. We don't know where it's at. We have not the slightest clue, but we have these opinions about it. Places who are equipped for an active shooter effectively, who can, dissolve this situation in a timely manner, are in big cities, more equipped cities. Remember when Obama got in office and he gave I forget what happened. I think after the Mike Brown thing, I believe, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section below. But I think sometime around there, he started funding different police departments to have body cameras. But think about it, there are still small sectors in the United States of police departments without body cameras at all. Why? Because the population, all right, let's back up a little bit. As far as I know, and correct me in the comment section, the police departments are equipped for whatever may happen in their jurisdiction. If it is a small town everybody knows everybody. These things don't happen like that. So they are not fully equipped for such a thing. There is a neighboring person next door, similar to, think about it. When let's say I used to work for Comcast. When the Comcast tech comes out and there's an issue there, that's something with the line, like the issue I have right now with my internet, I can't call an AT&T technician to come fix that. There's an outage. This is for the line people. He has to call another department. And guess what? This takes even longer now. And I get it. It may be apples to oranges, your internet being down, active shooter. But I'm trying to put it into a perspective to where you actually understand. Because when it comes to active shooters, none of you understand the gravity of the situation. All you're concerned about is the preservation of life, which, funny enough, at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to do as well. It's funny because let's say there were 300 souls in that building. 21 got taken, right? So that leaves roughly 278 left. So we saved 278, we lost 21. At some point, they have to assess the situation and see how can we save people. In situations like that, sometimes we're gonna have casualties. Look at war. How many people are in the ground today from war? But how many people have been sent home from war? Injured, having issues with getting health care, having problems with the VA. Every veteran says that the VA sucks. Even people who I know who work at the VA say the VA sucks. But at the end of the day, going back to just issues of war, there's people who die in war. There's casualties. Look at overseas. Look at Ukraine. Okay? Look at Ukraine and Russia. We're in an uproar because of the situation that happened. But look at other situations. People are being invaded, where people are having to flee their homes, coming into the U.S., coming into the U.S. for sovereignty, for some type of protection. But instead, we try to point blame at everything except the souls of humans. This is a spiritual battle, sort of. And I'm not spiritual, but what I do know, when there is evil inside of you, you do have to be born again. Not necessarily baptized or, converted to the nation of Islam and all of that. Your soul just has to be reborn to where you have positivity, love, and foresight, ambition. You can see a better day, no matter what your circumstances. As far as I know, this was all in a underprivileged neighborhood of people, okay? These are people with most likely less hope than somebody in Calabasas, okay? You compare Uvalde, Texas to Calabasas, California or something, right? These are hopeless individuals. How do we bring hope back into people? That's the question. And I'm gonna close with that. I'm Chris Hall. Thank you for tuning into the Chris Hall Show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram at ChrisHallATL. And with that said, I'm out.